Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the PELE YOETZ as he describes the infinite love that a father has for his child, that a husband has for his wife, that grandparents will have for their children, siblings will have for each other, and yet we find it difficult sometimes to find that same kind of a love for our fellow Jews. And that's what we're working on. And therefore he writes, V'ashereihem Yisroel, fortunate are you, Klal Yisrael. Kami yigiois yigayim, how hard you work. V'kama tirchais seivim, and how much you're willing to endure. V'kama hitzais moitziim, and how much money you're willing to spend. Al dvar mitzvah u'maisim tovim, for mitzvahs and maisim tovim and good deeds. Zakah chulakehon, Ashrei Chelkam, fortunate and happy is your portion in this world. Meaning, we live in a time right now, Klal Yisrael is spending so much money on the mitzvahs. Tefillin has never cost as much. Matzah never cost as much. Kosher food has never cost as much. Education for our children has never cost as much. And we do it, and we do it happily. We don't do it begrudgingly, we do it with simcha. We do it with an open hand because we know that this is the greatest thing in the world, to be able to perform mitzvahs, to do mitzvahs, and to have our children going in the pathways of mitzvahs. There's nothing better than that. We can't imagine. And Ashrei Yisrael, fortunate is Klal Yisrael, that they end up spending their money and putting it into the right place. Aval da'aka, but you have to know something, says the PELE YOETZ, sheyesh mitzvahs gedolos, there are very great mitzvahs, Asher doiresh ein lohem, but there's no one that's engaged in them. There's no one doing them. Machma she machzikin oisam the mitzvahs kol kach, because people don't recognize and realize what great mitzvahs these really are. And they think, no, it's a nice thing, it's a good thing, but a mitzvah, a big mitzvah like putting on tefillin, doesn't seem to be to me. Keeping Shabbos doesn't seem to be the same kind of a mitzvah like that. But it says in Chazal, Heviratz mitzvah kala, you should run to a light mitzvah. Kibechamor, just like you would run to go do and perform a more serious mitzvah. She'ein ato yedea matan schar shal mitzvahs, you have no idea the reward that HaKadosh Baruch is going to give you for mitzvahs. And therefore, that even when you have a lighter mitzvah, maybe the effort that it takes, perhaps maybe the Yetzirahs that you have to overcome, maybe that will find more favor in the eyes than what you would think is a bigger mitzvah, a greater mitzvah. And therefore be very careful, says the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, do not overstep and miss out on the mitzvahs. Allah has kama v'kama, all the more so. Mitzvah rabba kizu, a great mitzvah like this, ve'afta l'recha kamaycha, to love your fellow the way you love yourself. Shenichla ba'avas chesed, included in this mitzvah is avas chesed, loving kindness, ve'avas reim, loving your fellow Jew, ve'darchei shalom, and the ways of peace. Look how much is in the mitzvah. One mitzvah, ve'afta l'recha kamaycha, love your fellow Jew the way you love yourself, is like a three-pronged mitzvah over here. Can you imagine how much reward you're going to get from merely loving another Jew? It is fitting to run after this mitzvah the way that you would run after life itself. Because mitzvahs are life, and the bigger the mitzvahs, the more chashiv they are in the eyes of Hashem, the more that you can be Makayim, that you can fulfill. The more Chaim, it gives life to those who learn it, it gives life to those who keep it. The Torah itself is the source of all of life. And therefore, which Rabbi Akiva said is the Klal Gadol of Torah, it's the main principle of which everything else rests upon. So then this is something that a person should be running after with simcha, chasing the opportunities to love your fellow Jews with chesed and rachamim and everything we've been discussing. And in that way, you will be zeicha to HaChaim, to life itself. Have a wonderful day.